Okay, I have a job to do. And that job today is going to consist of doing some work on my deck. So, you see this roof up here that I put over the top of this arbor that covers one set of back doors that we have on the house. I put that roof up there probably 17, 18 years ago. And it was just a nice feature to have. It keeps it shaded in the summertime. It makes it nice coming in and out of this back door. That's the main door we come in and out of when we let our dogs in and out, and just accessing the deck and that kind of thing. So it's nice just to have that cover on there. And for years, my wife has wanted me, this arbor that I have over here at the other end of the deck, she's wanted me to put a roof over this one too. And so that's going to be the project, is that I'm going to go ahead and put a roof over that one just like I did the other one. And all of this is in preparation for just kind of getting in here and refurbishing our deck. You can see that over the years we've kind of made this kind of a backyard oasis. The back of our house here, overlooks our barn over here in the distance, our riding arena, and then out there over the hill is a lake. So years ago I came in here and I built this entire deck by hand, and I put the arbors up, I put the cover on it. We put lights all around it. Now all these lights need to be replaced. A lot of them are burned out. I built this arbor over the top of the hot tub, and I'll talk to you a minute about this corrugated galvanized steel that I've got, because that's what I'm going to be using on this project too. But anyway, we've just tried to make this real nice back here. But decks in the southeast of the country, they just take a beating. It's just really, really hard. You've got to really stay on top of them. And, when you have a deck that's this large, trying to keep it stained, and all the wood that you have to buy, invariably what's going to happen is there's just going to be pieces in there that aren't going to be of very good quality. And then they start to warp. You can kind of see right over there in a couple other places, they kind of warp and they crack and they start to break. And then so that's what's going on here now. Is what I want to do is I want to take this time during the winter months and do all the necessary repairs to my deck. I want to pull up any boards that need to be replaced, and we're going to get rid of this hot tub. That's going to be a whole nother video that I'm going to do. I'm actually going to cut that thing up and we're going to get rid of it. This little thing right here, we're going to move that to another location. We're probably going to put it out here in the garden somewhere. And then all of these boards on this portion of this deck right here, I'm going to pull up every single one of those and replace them. And then of course I have railing that needs to be replaced. So I'm going to use the winter months to do the repairs so that in the spring I can come back in and I can restain all of this. The particular stain that I want to use has a temperature range that you use it in. It can't be less than 50 or more than 90. It goes on very, very thick, and hopefully what it's going to do is it's going to fill in a lot of the wood that's still in good shape as far as structure, but it's just developed some of these cracks in it. And something like this is a typical example. A lot of this starts to splinter. You can't really walk out here in bare feet, but this material that I'm going to use is very thick, and it fills in gaps up to 1/4 inch, and it also is textured so that it has kind of a sandpaper grit to it. And so once I get in here and kind of replace the boards that I want and do all of the structural work on the deck that I want to do to repair it and just kind of fix it back up again, then in the spring I'll come back and stain all that. But for right now, it is going to be a matter of getting that roof over that arbor on that end of the deck. Now let's talk about this roofing material. This is actually repurposed, I guess you could call it. I had a friend of mine years ago that had a barn up the road, piece of property, his house, his barn, and several other structures, where he was using this galvanized material up there. And hailstorm came through. Insurance said, we'll replace all of that roofing on every structure you have on your property. He called me up and said, hey man, you want some of this roofing? He said, it's got little dents in it here and there, but for the most part, it's okay. Insurance is going to cover all of mine. I said, sure. So I took a trailer down there and I left it on his property. And as they were taking all that stuff off, they just loaded up that trailer with it. And I finally called No Joy and said, okay, I think that's enough. And I brought it all home. And so that is the material that I use to create this roof right up here that's over that arbor. And that is the material that I used over this hot tub right here. I like it because it's got some rust on it. And it's got some dents on it, and I just liked that worn-in look. I just thought it was very cool looking, so I kind of put it to good use. And so that is, I still have a good bit of that material left, and I definitely have enough to do this project right here, and probably a couple more like it. And so that's what I am going to do. So I've got to build the frame over that to make that happen, and you can kind of see how I did that on this one. I won't go through showing you exactly all of that right now because I'll be showing you as I'm building it right here. But that's what the project is. It's going to be a whole deck project. This is going to come in different phases. It's certainly not all going to be on one video. This is going to be the video that I'm doing now, and that is just getting that cover over that arbor on that end of the deck that the wife has been asking me to do for years. So I just got back from the lumber yard. I got all the necessary wood that I'm going to need, and let's get started. and toast a little bit? I just drove a nail through my hand, so I'm ready for a drink.
Oh, honey.
Okay, so now we have the basic framing that's done. So the only thing that would be left now is I have some 2x4s that'll go across this way in 4 different locations. And then that's actually what the galvanized roofing will attach to, is those 2x4s that I'm going to lay across the top. But that's the basic frame. I put the vertical supports up along the back, added the 2x6s that come down to the front. They're attached in the front with some hangers that you can see across the front there. And I also used hangers for the vertical 2x6s going up as well. That right there is the exact same way that I did the one on the other end 18 years ago, and it's been solid. So just repeat the same process and hope that I have the same success with it. And so we're getting there. So just the 2x4s and then the roofing material itself, and that'll be it. So we're getting there. Okay, I just hooked the trailer up to my Honda Pioneer here, and I have come back to a little back area behind my barn where I just kind of keep some stuff back here to retrieve the metal that I'm going to need for that roof that I'm building. And so I just came back here, and that stuff was just covered in pine straw. Bunch of pine trees in this area. So yeah, I came back the other day just to kind of get a glimpse of what I had, and it was just completely buried. So anyway, I believe I do have enough. These are shorter pieces over in this area, and these are the long pieces over here. Those are the ones that I'm going to use. And so now I just need to dig them out. I don't think I'm going to use that one on the top because I would have to clean it. And I'll just move it off to the side and start digging up some of these long pieces and put them in the trailer, and let's see about getting these things on. Okay, I got that finished. I think it came out pretty good. Those panels had been sitting back there in the back for quite some time. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to find when I uncovered them, what kind of shape they were in, but once I got a couple of the panels taken off the top, the ones down underneath it were actually in good shape. Some of them have a little rust on them, that kind of thing, but that's actually kind of what I was going for when I first started putting these roofs on. Like over the hot tub right here, it's got a little bit of rust on the top up there. I just think it kind of makes it look rustic, and plus it was free. But anyway, that project came out good. I built it the exact same way that I did my original one, and so you can see, just run some 2x6s this way, run some 2x4s that way, and then lay the panels on this way, and secured them all down with fasteners that I had, self-tapping screws. And get a view from it from over here. And so what that does is it just gives us some nice coverage over those back doors there, and we also have coverage over the one at the other end. And so as far as being here in the south, that really keeps that bottom portion of our house a lot cooler in the summertime. So that's something I needed to do for a long time, and I finally got around to doing it. All right, so I'm going to call that portion of the deck project done. And like I had mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is actually going to be multiple parts to this deck project. And so the next portion of this project probably is going to be, I'm going to chop up this hot tub and carry that out of here. We need to move this little gazebo looking thing here off of the deck and put it out in the garden somewhere. And then I have a lot of boards that are on the deck portion itself that need to be replaced, and all of that is going to be setting it up for a major cleaning and painting in the springtime. So that's what's coming up on the deck project. All right, so anyway, I'm glad to have that portion of it done. I think it came out fine. On to the next job.